Welcome to a live edition of Two Twisted for TV. We'll talk a little bit about the weather, but we have Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Joel Young joining me. And back there, we also have Arkansas Storm Team Meteorologist Christopher Pipkin.
Hello.
I thought it would be kind of fun to... Okay, there's the snow sliding off of the roof.
Yeah, we wanted to at least bring Christopher in, though.
Yeah, so... we want to talk about the winter storm and some of the behind-the-scene things that happen, because you only see us on live streaming every so often, you know, during this, and then the newscast on the air. But you don't see everything that happens that makes this possible to put on the air. The forecasts and, get a weathercast on the air, getting people to the station.
There's a lot of moving parts here that behind the scenes, and this weekend was chaotic. It has been chaotic since then, I feel like.
There are probably some stories that I forgot, but these are the things that we'll look back on probably by summer, and we'll just sit back and laugh about them.
Ooh, well.
Remember that? Remember this? Remember that? So we thought I thought I would share some of my stories and experiences of some of the craziness that happened behind the scenes, and maybe get Joel's take and his experiences and Christopher's, and my goodness.
Yeah.
It was quite, I mean, during this whole winter storm, this guy was, in constant communication with his relatives back in Mississippi for two reasons. One, he was about to become a great uncle, and the other one's because the ice storm hit your parents' house.
It did. It hit my family's town. It hit that area hard. And there has been, ever since the storm, Sunday we realized how bad the storm was, and then every day since then has brought a new challenge. It's been chaotic, and as you mentioned, in the middle of it, I was going to become a great uncle. And by the way, yesterday was my birthday,
and it's a birthday,
and I now share my birthday with my beautiful great niece here on the left. This is Rosalind Elise. She's going to go by Rosie.
I like that,
and she is. She's perfect, of course, but came in the middle, a dramatic entrance, came in the middle of an ice storm. I'll have to tell you the story here, okay? So, and I think I've told Christopher, I'm sure I've told all of us here in the Weather Center, I was stressed out about this last week. I told Celeste and this is my niece, the mom, I told Celeste, I said, on Monday of last week, I said, whatever y'all get this weekend, whether it's ice, snow, whatever, you need to get to Oxford to be close to the hospital by Friday night, right? So
you were supposed to go to Mississippi too.
I was going to go to the Mississippi last week, assuming I thought she was going to have the baby sooner.
Right.
So you're right. I had totally forgotten about that. But I didn't. I knew that, if the baby's not born yet, I'll wait a little longer, and then wait a little longer and snow ends up, and then there's ice, and obviously. But I told her, I said, you need to be there by Friday. Well, Friday night, they got a little light round of precip, and the next morning, I looked at the map, and the map, we find friends, you know how you can follow each other's GPS location, and she's still at home. And I called her, and I was like, and this is kind of when I'm looking at models, I see how bad things are about to get there. And I don't know that I really knew how bad it was going to be, but I knew that the roads were going to be awful at the very least. And I said, you don't know what you're dealing with. I was like, the best time for you to have been there was yesterday. The second best time to go is now, because it was about to take a turn for the worse that night. And so her husband, of course, as everybody, it seems like you have to do, you got to go look before you believe it. He drove down the road and he realized how bad the roads were starting to get. He said, okay, maybe it's time to go.
But then it's too late.
I know. Yeah. At this point, it was in my opinion, I would not have been on the roads. I would have been there Friday, but she finally listened to my advice. And she got there. She was able to stay at a family member's condo there. They had underground wiring. Everybody else in Oxford is in a disaster zone, and she's comfortable. I knew that she could get to a safe place, So she rode out the storm there. She was comfortable in her last days of her pregnancy. She was scheduled originally to, they were going to induce on Wednesday, yesterday.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what day of the week it is right now.
Right. Everybody's days are messed up. But then on Monday after the storm, they announced at the hospital they were not going to do elective procedures, which turns out inducing childbirth is an elective procedure. So she was going to have to naturally go into childbirth. Well, there was all this chaos with the storm. I won't get into all the details, but long story short, they canceled the induction, but then
the baby did.
The baby did. The
Babies don't cancel
She
things.
goes to the ER on Wednesday morning, which was my birthday. They started the induction. By 8:50, by the time Christopher's covering my 9 o'clock newscast last night, she was here, and so there she is. I'm so happy. It's a great story.
Congrats.
In the middle of all the chaos, and in the middle of it, and also yesterday, my mom, they've been without power since Saturday night. She's been off her CPAP machine for 4 nights roughly. And I didn't realize, I guess, how reliant she, and people are who have CPAP machines, So she started getting sick. She had to go to the ER. They put her on oxygen for the night. So finally, I just checked the map a little while ago. She's almost to my brother's house. She's going to have power for tonight. But like I said, every day since the storm has brought a new challenge, whether it be welcoming my new great niece to the world or making sure my mom has all of the medical supplies she needs, and this thing. So hopefully they'll have power back here soon. I know my parents' neighborhood has power now, but the first tree that fell in our yard cut the service line to the house. So
and they're responsible for that. They're going to have to get an electrician.
That's going to be a little bit more of a process. And so I don't know how long she'll stay with my brother. But this weekend I plan to get over there. The roads should be a lot better. Yeah. And even the roads where they've improved, there have been vehicles that were stalled. And so they've had trouble clearing they've had to get tow trucks out there.
How much ice did they get? How many inches?
I think they got somewhere between 1 and 2 inches of ice.
That's what 1 and 2 inches of ice can do.
And everybody I've seen so many conversations online trying to compare this one to the ice storm of 1994. Mm-hmm. It is such apples to oranges.
I mean, there are some things that are similar in the fact that you have power outages, but that was more extensive, 94.
I agree it was more extensive, but I think there's a lot of people who will argue and say that this one was worse. I think it's fresh on our minds. I think we're also a little bit more spoiled with our connectivity that we are in these days. I mean, we have our cell phones. We can scroll anytime. I don't know how my youngest niece is doing.
There was a time when
have her TikTok.
There was a time when they didn't have Uncle Joel to tell them what to do, play by play like that. It's like you just went on your own, and then you got on the road. You didn't have any way to connect with anybody.
True, you didn't have.
And that wasn't that long ago, folks. We're not that old.
No,
that wasn't that long ago.
But it has been nice. I can see their location. I can see they're safe. I could see earlier my mom and dad were almost to my brothers, so that. There's just been a little bit more stress. I've been multitasking, trying to do my job here, and also,
Well, let's Christopher Pipkin back there behind us.
Hey.
There he is. All right, Christopher, I'm sure that you've had some wildness over the past week and a half.
Thankfully, not as wild as Joel's.
I think Joel wins the award for wildness.
Yes.
It's a long chain of events. But Christopher, how has this been for you?
It's not been too bad, I'm only about 5 minutes from the station, so not been too crazy getting to work. I did fall this morning.
You fell? I didn't know this.
I did. Got a big bruise coming up on my hand.
How'd you do it?
Well, I was out trying to take my dog, and I was going through, trying to go down steps. I haven't shoveled anything, and I'm still not going to shovel anything. I'm just going to let it melt off. I'm too lazy. But I go to step down on the steps, and of course, just right there, and I go to catch myself, and a piece of ice that was sticking up, I landed right on it. So
it's humbling.
It is. That's about the only thing. And then Todd saved me one day that I had to go to work. He actually came and picked me up. So our car sizes are about the same, or his son's car, actually, but he had snow chains. I don't have snow chains. So I had to walk on top of my hill, and of course I see good old Todd, you coming down the road, coming to rescue me.
Camry.
That's right.
There are trucks stalled. They're on the side of the road.
Yes.
They're stuck, SUVs, and I'm in my son's Camry. No, wait, hold on. This thing is a 12-year-old Camry.
Yep.
12-year-old Camry, front wheel drive, and I'm just zipping along.
He's doing great. He's doing great. Those chains, though,
They are
I
worth every
have to
penny.
get some because
Yes.
those things do
Here's a-
appear to be really.
They are a lifesaver. You put them on. Takes less than 5 minutes to put them on.
Yeah, so yours is front wheel, so you have it on the front. So I guess I would put them on the back tires of my truck. I would imagine that would be.
I'd throw some sandbags back there too.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've got a big pile of snow in the back of my truck. Right
Yeah,
now,
that's
trying to-
Can you see that? Okay. Are you able to see?
what
Probably
is this?
not.
Is this you?
This
falling?
is you. This is you coming to save me.
Oh,
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
I was not
Yeah.
speeding, officer.
And yep.
That was what I call it when I said welcome. I said get in. Your Uber is here. Your
Your Uber is here. That's right.
Your snoober.
Your snoober is
Yeah.
here. But Joel, I was like, Joel, do you need a ride? Because I'm ready to go. Because he lives in a very hilly area in Little Rock, and I was like, those hills are going to be challenging. I have to see if the Camry can handle it. So I wanted.
You did.
I wanted to pick you up and just, because we work together, we're coworkers and
Yeah,
we're friends.
sure.
But I was curious about how my car was going to handle, and you had a little when I turned onto.
Was this after you dropped? Or
This is when I was dropping you off that night, and I was turning into where the side road there, where there was all the snow and ice, and I just floored it. And
You have to.
I was like, I felt like I was ramping, like in the Dukes of Hazzard. I was going into the
But
air.
sometimes
Yeah.
you've got to, and I think a lot of people, over the years, and we've talked about with Laura Monteverde, my track record with winter weather is not the best in terms of driving, or at least I've been burned a few times. And I also haven't had 4-wheel drive, so like I'm doing better, but I've had a really big fear of driving on ice. I mean, or snow and ice, and I get everybody does, but I feel like mine was to a point like I'm not even gonna mess with it. I'm just and I have had enough experiences here in Little Rock at this point. I'm starting to overcome that fear. Todd, you would have been so proud of me in that truck this morning. I was going to the gym. I was just like, yeah, I got this. I mean, granted, I don't have snow chains or anything. My truck's a little higher up, so I'm a little more. But I made it. I did pretty good.
So then it was yesterday.
Yeah,
I took
the day
yesterday
before
off, but I just wanted to get out of the
Day
house
before
too.
yesterday. Tuesday.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know. Our days are
My
mixed
days
up.
are so messed up. So
I
Joel
feel that.
needed a ride to work, and our boss, news director Ernie, was going to get on. I got him. I'll get him.
And so y'all must have.
Yeah, I was talking to him on the phone. He goes, I got to go get Joel. I said, I'll get him. I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'll go get him.
So you came and got me. And then on our way to work, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try to get my truck back. It was buried in the snow downtown, or the tires were mostly buried in downtown. You dropped me off, and what'd you say right as you dropped me off? You're like, do you want me to stick around? And
Make sure you can get out.
yeah. So I'm like,
I
no,
got
I
this.
got it. And then, I'm digging. You're making it on down the road, and I realized it's a little bit of a tougher job than I realized. I was like, and I didn't want to be late to work, but I still want to get my truck out, and I'm determined I'm going to get my truck out. And at this point, I'm already in my shirt and tie and everything, so I'm sweating and not in my. I shouldn't be doing manual.
You forgot
labor
your
in these
coat again, by
clothes,
the way,
but
today.
Well, actually, it was in my truck, so I had it for the 6:30 show.
Okay.
But that's another thing. But anyway, so Todd was like, "Do you want me to follow you all the way back?" And I was like, "No, I got it." I called him at one point. I said, "Where are you? Like, is there any chance you could make it back?"
I was at the
case?"
base of Cantrell Hill at that point.
And so you turn around. But in my mind, I'm like, before Todd gets back, I'm going to try to have this out. And I want to at least show him I can get this out myself. I was determined. Man, I broke a sweat. My friend that I had stayed with downtown, he was downstairs watching me. He's like, I'm sorry I don't have a shovel to help you with. So he's just watching me. So I had a spectator.
Nice.
I'm like,
Thanks for your help.
I got this. I got this.
But you got out.
I did. And I called you and I'm like, hey, have you gotten here yet? Because I made it out. And as soon as I got out of that parking spot, though, I gunned it because I think a lot of people who are traveling in the snow, they approach it so carefully that
Yes.
they don't get the momentum
That's
they need
that's
to
the
get.
key to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We always say people to take your time. We're not trying to tell you to go 5 miles an hour because there's such a thing as going too slow in winter weather. You have to have momentum.
when you're working, like for example, if you're going up a hill, and
You've gotta have momentum.
You got to gun it.
Or you're
going
to
say gun it, but just gun it enough to get you over that.
Right. We're not saying go 50 miles an hour, but you have to have that momentum to get you there, because if you lose that momentum, your wheels are going to start turning and you're sliding back down.
I've seen so many people doing that on my
Yeah.
hill, and I'm like, just want to be like, go back to the bottom and then gun it.
And then,
like,
yeah.
And you know, there's just, it's so hard to explain how to drive in winter weather until you've had the experience, and then even still, you got to relearn it every year.
Yeah,
Like.
and I was on Rodney Parham. Cars are going so slow, and I'm like, I get it. You got to go slow, but it's like there's such a thing as too slow.
Yeah.
There is. And then after I made my route back to downtown Little Rock, and then I was going back towards Cantrell going out. Then I pull up to a stoplight, and there's another, and then there's another TV station in their vehicle. And they're streaming live to something. I don't know.
Were they driving while they were streaming?
The passenger was.
Okay.
And so I saw them, and I don't know who they are. I mean, I've never
Never met them.
There's so
but
many.
You know they work at the.
I know where they. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they go, it's Todd Jacobian, and I just, hi. What are you doing? I said, just bringing people to work.
Download the Arkansas Storm Team app.
Download the Arkansas Storm Team app. I was like, what is this kind of? It was really kind of weird. But
What are
anyway,
the
thank you
odds?
for having me on your live stream. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Christopher, any other good stories?
Oh, geez. Other than work, I mean, it was fun going in Arkansas Storm Team Thunder. That was a blast.
That is cool. I
Yeah,
still haven't
it was
gotten
a
to ride in
blast.
Thunder yet.
It was great. Yeah, we went pretty much before the event started. We were trying to catch a band that was going towards Russellville, and then we saw how everything was forming closer to Central Arkansas, so we came all the way back down. But I mean, it didn't get stuck once, so that was a good thing. We saw a lot of folks get stuck around us, of course, and we helped as much as we could.
It's
but
all-wheel drive, isn't it?
It is. Yep, all-wheel drive, and having the light on the side, I was able to look at what was falling, and it was incredible. I mean, I really enjoyed it. That's kind of the first time that I've been able to drive around whenever an event's happening. It's usually they're stuck at home or in a studio, but that was a pretty cool thing.
That is really cool.
I'm trying to think of some of the crazy things that happened. I think the first thing that was crazy, and I put this out on social media, was waking up. What was that, Saturday morning?
Yeah.
And I went to go look at the backyard, and I couldn't open my back door.
Well, you
all the way.
already had
Yeah,
snow
yeah.
on the ground back there.
but I didn't at the back door. And yes, I do. By the way, I have even. But anyway,
we know.
at the back door, the roof. There's two sides of the roof, and everything's funneling the sleet. And I can't open up the back door.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Isn't that wild?
And I didn't think about that. Things like that. And then, getting the dog out to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I mean, and then shoveling that. Then I had to shovel the driveway so I could put the chains on the car. And so I opened up the garage door, and of course the concrete floors in the garage is smooth. And then right there at the garage door's edge is all the sleet and snow piled up. And so there's some water, I guess, from where it melts right there, that gets underneath and inside the garage. And I slid on that and fell.
Dang.
My wife was out there helping. She slid and fell.
Gosh.
But I mean, we didn't get hurt or anything. But it was, and then I was like, "Where are the kids?" And get them out here, to help shovel. But I underestimated the weight of the sleet. Snow is a lot lighter than sleet, and now we see the roof collapses, and that all makes
Yeah.
sense.
What if it had been all snow?
I don't think you would have
Solid
had
snow.
if it was all snow, we probably would have had a foot at least in Little Rock.
Yeah.
Totally.
At
No doubt
least.
about that.
And you would not have had the roof collapse, I think, because it was a dry powdery. It would have been a dry powdery snow.
Yeah, it was a little bit powdery.
But if it was 12 inches of wet snow at minimum, then I think you would have had the roof collapse.
Yeah.
There was so yesterday I spent several hours out shoveling my driveway, and I only got about half of it cleared. I mean,
It's hard work.
It is really
people.
hard work.
People have heart attacks. That's
Yeah.
they
And
talk.
I can see why.
Yeah,
I was like, because you think of like, okay, but for older people, no, I don't think so. I think that's such a strenuous job that,
Yeah.
well, and I think also you're so determined to get it done.
Yep. And you're cold. Your blood vessels are constricting, although you should be bundled up and warm. But I don't know all the
I
contractions.
took my coat off at one point.
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
sweating.
I'm just sweating.
Yeah, the cold air feels good. In
Yeah, it
those
felt
cases.
really good about that time.
And then our boss, he has a pipe that busts.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and you know, I haven't heard a lot of pipe busts.
I haven't either, and I kind of wonder.
I'm wondering if that's
is
coming.
that coming
Yeah.
more, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
afraid of. Like, that's why I was really, and I wanted to issue an alert day for Saturday, because even though we've been through this now at this point, I'm afraid that this thawing, refreeze, thaw, refreeze, hard refreeze, and then out. Like, I can't help but think that there's going to be more damage to some pipes. And if I'm wrong, then I sure hope so.
And then
I'm a plumber.
I was
so-
thinking, I was on my way into work today, and it was in almost 2 wrecks. I told you about the one of them, but there was another one where somebody was on the wrong side of the road, and I guess that they couldn't tell because the snow's covering up the lanes.
Yeah.
And so this
Yeah.
person's, and you know, I'm not upset with them or anything, but I'm like, they can't tell. I'm like, you're on the wrong side of the road, and I'm coming at them, and I'm having
Yeah.
to swerve to miss them.
I was cracking up the other day, and it was in the middle of some chaotic situation. I think it was actually when I was trying to get in touch with my parents, but you were, and I needed this comic relief. But you're driving down the road, and I can't remember. Oh, you commented and you said, "Gosh, they should really paint these lines a little brighter in the road," or something like that. You know, and I just cracked up. I was like, "It's a little covered, Todd."
Well, and then Blake and we went to go help Jenna.
Yeah.
And we had to dig Jenna out of her car, and this was what day was this?
Poor Jenna was humbled a little bit.
Yeah,
the
well,
other morning.
welcome to Arkansas. So, but anyway, so there was no telling when I turned onto the street. I couldn't tell where the street was and where the curb was.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of these gradual turns, and I went up on the curb, and you don't know it until
don't
you're
know
up on
it,
it.
yeah.
And Blake's woo! You know? I'm like, it's your car, buddy. You know, and
Oh my
and then
gosh.
my chain popped off
Oh,
of my
no.
tire.
Oh, geez.
Oh, and remember, we thought your tire was going flat when we were on our way to my
Oh,
truck.
the tire pressure light came off. It's not
it
on
did.
anymore. But yeah, I was like, I think I just got a flat tire. Oh well, there's plenty of tire stores around here.
When it rains, it pours, and when
it sleets.
snows and sleets, it also poured.
Trying to think.
A
There's,
lot.
I know there's other stories. I know there.
Also, I've got a video. So
Okay.
this is something cool that happened too. In my car, there was a case of water. And of course, we've all seen super cold water. Some folks may not have, but I took it out. And I don't know if y'all can see it, but I think they can. You can see it freezing instantly.
Well, I don't know if I can take it full.
Oh, maybe not.
Go
No.
up to that camera.
Let me do that.
Take,
Yeah.
Take that camera full.
You can
We'll just do
see.
this on the fly.
Yeah, let's see. Is that better?
A little bit. Yeah, okay.
Can you see it forming?
There's the water. You're pouring it. Pull it down just a little bit. There you go.
All right, so it's pouring. What's going on here?
Instantly freezing as it gets poured.
We can't see where it freezes, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Oh,
well,
well.
actually, when you had it tilted a little
How about
bit.
that?
Tilt it a little bit, or
Okay, you're forming a mound, kind of?
Yeah, yeah. Well, so it was super cold. It's one of those when you jolt
it
it and
touches
it'll
something.
freezing.
yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
need. You know, you are very close
see
to
if you
making
can
your
do it.
own snow.
I know. I really was. I
You're
was.
dangerously.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You see it just like.
Oh,
instantly.
that's so cool.
That's
Have you shared
satisfying
that?
to
Yeah,
watch
it's
that.
very
You posted that?
I have not. No, no.
Oh,
no.
that's
You
so
need to
cool.
post that. That gives me
Yeah.
ideas for
Science.
Saturday morning and
That was
Sunday
cool,
morning.
but it reminds me
Oh,
also.
for this week, yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all see the mounds on Cantrell, like the snow, like where they plowed the roads over there on Cantrell?
I've seen a lot
I've
of
seen the piles are unreal.
Piles are crazy. It's about as high as a car over there.
And I look at the long range and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's going to get milder, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Those
It's
are
going to
gonna
take a
be
long
here,
time to melt those things.
Long
Snurt
time.
piles.
Oh, the snurt.
The snurt.
This could be wreck. Hey, we got also Christopher has looked to see that. I think it's tomorrow. If we still have an inch of snow depth, what's the record?
The record is 27 days of at least snow and ice on the ground, and that was set in 1918. But
That ain't
we
gonna be
might be
broken.
getting the top 5. We may surpass
Is what the
2021.
longest snowpack?
The longest that we've had a snow depth of at least 1 inch on the ground. We're going into the top 10. We are in the top 10 right now, aren't we?
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll be in the top 10.
Tomorrow we'll be in the
I
top
would
10.
imagine 2021 was on up there for how.
Yes, I think that's 5, isn't it?
That's 5. Yep.
Yeah.
5, and that was 8 days. So with this Arctic blast, I mean, if we still have an inch of snow by Sunday, we'll surpass 2021.
Probably will.
But it's just, it's just, you come to the station and it's just the atmosphere is different during a snowstorm because it feels like it's like, all right, who got in? Who can do this? And it's like every man for themselves.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
not.
It's
It's
such
like,
a.
it's like, who made it? Who needs help? Who needs to get to work? Who needs this? And it's a team effort. It really is. But it's like, it just has a different feel when you're working during a winter storm.
It's very weird how, I mean, these events also like, it's busy. It's some of your busiest
days, yeah.
But it's also weird because like it's busy, but it almost feels like a holiday because nobody's in the building.
Right. That's
so
exactly
even
it.
As
That's it.
busy as you are, sales isn't here. Management isn't here. They're out of the building. Not that, I mean, it just feels like a holiday.
Let me tell you about
It's
sales.
a snow day.
So prior to the event, though, how many salespeople came back here? So what's really going to happen?
Oh, I know.
It's like, we don't see you all year. And then you
And then
come
they
come
come
out.
see us when
what's
there's
really going to happen?
We'll see them one day.
And just tell
one
them-
day they'll return to work.
You know that Storm Team app that you sell advertising?
Download. Yeah.
That's funny.
I also love how, and of course, I feel like there's always some skepticism. People look at our forecasts, leading up to an event. They're like,
We do
"Is
too.
it really?"
We do too.
I mean, I get it. Yeah. But I had a friend of mine. He's a manager of a restaurant here in town, and he said, "So, are we really going to have precip on the ground in the morning?" This was Friday night. He's like, "Are we really going to have precip on the ground by tomorrow morning? Should I get or should I close down?" And I wasn't telling him what to do. I was just saying, "Yeah, there's 100% chance there's got to be precip on the ground in the morning." And you almost you're like, "Am I really saying that?"
Yeah.
Is
Well,
this
there's
really
high confidence.
But it was so high confidence.
Remember, the Weather Service issued that winter storm watch on Tuesday,
I remember that seemed really early, and I was trying
because
to
the
think
confidence was high.
yeah, and it was such a high impact event too.
Right. I mean, we've had bigger storms, but that sleet, the constant sleet, and it's a cake.
That video Saturday night when that sleet kicked in around Russellville, the torrential sleet,
That Jesse-
blows
yes.
my mind
Yeah.
that it was just coming down so hard.
And you know what? Russellville only ended up with like 6 inches, which
It was
blows
so
my
heavy,
mind.
it was pushing it down probably.
Yeah, compaction. Then we did that demonstration with the snow and the
It was
BBs.
such a great,
Yeah,
that was such
the
a great,
compaction.
and I'm so glad, Todd, and I'll address it once. I won't go back to it. I'm so glad
What?
that we did not get ice.
Oh,
I mean, it really that melting.
I'm glad,
layer, and
too.
you agree? I mean, I do know we talked about this. I mean, that was
it's a significant melting
it was
layer.
close.
But just as equal as that melting layer was, so is the sub-freezing air down the surface was very
And
significant.
so we talked about
I think that if it was about 5 to 7 degrees warmer at the surface, we would have had that ice storm.
yeah.
I think that being cold as we were, being that cold saved us from looking like northern Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's what kept us, just maybe 5 to 7
I was
degrees.
worried there, and so look.
We're coming up
Yeah,
on
I see
7:30.
that. But yeah, I'm so glad that did not happen. I hate that Mississippi had to deal with it, but and it almost makes you feel guilty for only having snow and sleet. I know I don't know, a little survivor's guilt. My brother and I were talking about it
Yeah.
because we both were unscathed in our family. It's just,
Yep.
they're everywhere, in a tizzy their days are mixed up big time.
Yeah, I imagine. Well, hey, I want to say thank you to these guys, Christopher and Joel, for Too Twisted for TV, the live show next week. I'm going to have guests on here again, but we look forward to serving you as much as we possibly can in these winter weather situations and, of course, severe weather situations this spring with thunder.
Thunder, yeah.
Thunder.
right.
All right.
Ready for some actual thunder
Thank you for watching.
and not snow.